Finally. Okay. Sorry for that. I had a little computer malfunction, but now it is time for Syntax Live. How's everybody doing tonight? I hope you're doing well. Everybody crack yourself something open and let's get to it. It's not going to be a big show tonight. I only got a little bit to talk about, but first things first, I hope everybody had a happy new year. I hope everybody got home safe, and I am really hoping that everybody's going to be around all the way through next year so we can still have some good intel, some good critiques, some good suggestions, and make better content for everybody out there. So, without further ado, I don't have a lot of notes tonight. I only really have two big things on the menu right now. First things first is tonight's episode dropping at midnight Eastern Standard Time is part 3 of You Hired the Humans? Are you insane? Yes, it is dropping, number 3. I do not believe I'll be going any further, and I decided to be in more of a jovial mood with that one. And I know you guys like the first two because they are some of my biggest viewers out there. It's got the most. I am just absolutely amazed. Happy New Year to everybody. And I see you, Ava, Fabian, my loyal subscribers. How you doing? And so if you were looking forward to that series, it's coming out. The next one to come out is everyone's been bugging me about it is Ambush Predators is coming out before the end of this week. Hopefully I can work on it tomorrow. There's been some fun stuff going on around here. So yeah, it's not been all that fun. I'm actually try scripting with a hand that's actually been crunched. That's always fun. So just remember, anybody making your stories, make sure you script them out. That's what I got to do too. Got to script them out. Aside from that, I saw your Fabian. I saw you come up here doing another episode of New Crewman. New Crewman's on hiatus for a while, and it's because right now I'm trying to figure out exactly how I might have just wrote myself into a corner, bringing his stepsister on named Jezebel. And those of you who don't know, Jezebel actually has a meaning. Jezebel used to be a, how do I put this? Think gangster chick, without the shooting, more the, so yeah. And if you're asking what I did to my hand, I twisted it in the gym. I was trying to move the weight, and when I picked it up, I was in the wrong form. Over I went because I was trying not to hit somebody. So, yeah. Is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't. So, on top of that, and I kind of lost my train of thought here. I was on Ambush Predators. Yes. I want to say that when Ambush Predators comes out, be ready for it to have a lot of backstory. I know you guys like the backstory stuff, and that's really been helping out. But, that's what it's going to be. It's going to get a little deep, a little dark. If you guys think I'm going too far, by all means, put it in the comment section of the video. I will adjust fire. I got no problems there. Now, the last thing I got on my docket here, which I forgot to write down, was I saw you guys, you had requested that we bring in the story back that says They Call Us Monsters. I got it up to chapter 30, and because the way the timeline was, the character is going into hibernation. That means there's going to be another time jump of a few months before that even goes in. I do have to say it's going to be a while before I go into it. Reason being, I was looking at the view count. I don't think it jumped above 450, and I'm used to getting 10 times that on some of my better videos. So if there's one you request, and I'm going to write it down now. New Crewman. Where's my other? I got so many freaking notepads around. I forget what's where. And I had the list here. Where did I put it? Not on that one. Anyway, I'm going to write New Crewman in big bold letters. So if that's a new crewmate, it's right there. And if that's what you guys want, if you have a request, I am more than willing to fill up any requests. However, just be aware that if you have something that is of a suggestive nature, it's going to take a minute because I have to work and dance around the YouTube algorithm. Last I did one of these, you guys said how you liked me dancing around the algorithm, which, yeah, suggestive is all hell. You got to be good at that because you can't say too much. Those of us with little kids that hang about, so I got nieces and nephews, I got to be careful about that. So in the comments section, we're going to be on for a few more minutes. If you have any other critiques, questions, complaints, bring those in and I will address them right away. I do have to mention I did make a X Force account there. Used to be Tweaker account, and this is the first time I had one. I haven't even put anything on it yet. I do have a question, and by all means put it in the chat. Would you rather have, first things first, the short videos? Now, it's not anything special is going to be on there. It's going to be the same thing as YouTube, but I know other people use that one. What do you want first? Do you want the one-off stories or do you want the series? Because if I do the series, I'm going to just put them all together. All the episodes is going to come out as one video. And I'm going to end up doing the same thing on Rumble because it's just trying to put it on all three. It's just being a real pain in the butt. So if you prefer the single series, then great. If you guys have a particular series you want to extend on, let me know. Again, we're going to be here for just a few minutes. Again, I don't have a lot to go over tonight. I wish I did, but I don't. It's just been crazy, and I'm sure everybody else has been that way too. I'm sure some of you are still trying to work off the hangover. Nothing better than a couple strips of bacon and a lot of water. And that's unless you got Doc around, and then he can give you a couple IVs. God, that works. Okay, Fabian says one-offs to start. Okay, to start. Yep. That's the way I was doing with Rumble is I was focusing on the one-offs. I didn't do any series over there. Rumble is, I hesitate on that one because apparently if you don't do a product review, you don't make any cash on there. And you know what they say, if it don't make money, it don't make sense. And it took me a year to get where I am now. So anyways, yes, I will do one-offs to start with on there. Let's see. Ava says, idea, what if you use the one-offs to find series to build on? Actually, that's Ava. That's how I do it, actually. If I have a one-off, I always try to leave them a little bit open-ended, just enough. And I want to see how well viewer count goes. And then I build off that. Human Battleships was never supposed to have multiple parts. New Crewman or New Crewmate was supposed to be only 2 parts, and it was such a big hit that I just kept going with it. Yeah, a bunch of these. Let's see, what's another one? Turrets. It's a Human thing. That was not supposed to be a series. That was supposed to be a one-off, and that just kept going. The only ones that were meant to be a series is A Call from the Stars, A Call to Arms, a couple of the spooky series that I honestly already wrote them. So yeah. But let's see. Early Man Going to the Stars. What type of early man, Fabian? That's I don't. If that has a specific way, early man, the early man, or are you talking about the first man going to the stars? I don't. You're gonna have to clarify that one. Ava says Yamato returns to fight once more. They did that. The Battleship Yamamoto. They've done not only several animated versions, but they've done a live action. All of which sort of kind of suck. But hey, that's my own opinion. I wish they did a better job at that, but they were so stuck in trying to get it so close to tradition of 50 years ago. They didn't realize times fucking change. Okay, pre-industry. Okay, so basically frontiersman going to the stars. So the Mandalorian without Beskar. Got it. Okay, I can look into that. Beskar only one thing is stronger than Beskar. That's called plot armor. Yeah. Pre-industry, not knowing tech. I got to be careful because I don't want them to come down and give us tech when you're in the frontier, because that's Cowboys versus Aliens, which was have a couple of drinks before you watch that. It was kind of bad. It's but yeah, and that's doable. Another space western draw. You know, I did kind of touch on that a little bit when I did a one-off. Don't bother the human with a big iron on his hip. It's actually titled just Big Iron. If you know old country music, you'll know where that one comes from. So, okay, so the consensus, not Western as in old Western, I'm sure. Let's see. I'm just wondering how it goes Murphy's luck story going, or will there be sort of joke reference character built? Well, the thing is, Murphy's Law kind of fell into our new crew mate. Yeah. Anything that could go wrong did, and the guy was trying to fix it all the time. And then he's like, well, I just ran. You don't want to keep your powder too dry because, you know, he had his extra stuff he had to do, hint, hint. But yeah, it seemed like everything that could go wrong did. And that's actually, you know what? That could be a series right there, Ava. I'm gonna write that down. I want to write that down right there because you just kind of put one. I know you brought up before Alien going through basic training, but I'm more about going through AIT. Let's see. Alien BCT, okay. /AIT. If you don't know what AIT is in the military, it's called Advanced Individual Training. That's where you learn your actual job. BCT, Basic Combat Training, is what I was teaching, and that is the very basics of what can keep you alive in a combat zone. Aside from that, we didn't go into absolutely crazy, obscure whatever, because if you don't get the basics down, you're pretty much screwed. Okay, forget the pretty much part. You're pretty much done. Somehow jams a bolt action and hang fire and still kills his foe. Okay, but that's funny. Ava was bringing up how you would jam a bolt action with a hang fire, which is also known as a stovetop, where the bolt doesn't, or the bullet casing doesn't come out, it just sticks out like that. And all you really have to do is go twink, and it literally falls off. And okay, I just did a Swedish Chef on that one. But yeah, it's pretty much impossible for a bolt action for that to happen. I've never even heard of that. That's actually good. That was a good laugh right there, Ava. That's funny. Yeah, hang. Or if you're talking delayed fire like you do with a muzzle loader, that'd be something. So like humans don't make good familiars. I never got into that series. I listened to like the first episode of that, and me personally, I couldn't sink my teeth into it. Maybe it's the way it was written. Maybe it's the way it was shown. I don't know. It was an okay series, but it wasn't for me. Yeah, Ava's saying the same thing. They're not all gold, folks. They're not all gold. It would be nice if they were. They're not all gold. If they were all gold, Hollywood wouldn't suck. But I will say when they did Godzilla -1, they did an awesome job on that one. They did a much better job than anyone should have done for a giant monster movie like that. There's only one or two places where they screwed up, and honestly, it wasn't enough to take me completely out of the story. However, the big reveal at the end was not a big reveal if you know anything about military personnel and the way we think. Yeah, it is just a few. Like I said, we're only going to be on for a short time tonight. So again, if you guys have any comments, concerns, critiques, complaints, and by the way, feel free to roast the folks in the comment who just do stupid things. Honestly, I'm done with these people just trying to get under my skin. It actually had one that said, it would have been read better if you used AI. I'm like, AI doesn't actually use any real inflection. If I want to use AI, there's an actual channel specifically uses an AI voice. I don't even know if it's a man or a woman. They just use strictly an AI voice, and it's hard to really get into it. There's no passion in it at all. So I mean, to each their own on that, but still, I think somebody was just trying to annoy me. And you know what? By all means, tear him a new asshole. I don't care. Let's see. Ava says grenade launcher loaded with flechette rounds still somehow fires a grenade. Okay. Actually, they do have a grenade with flechette rounds. They tested it. It didn't work out so well. The problem is it had to strike something before it burst. So if it didn't get past the target, the flechettes didn't burst enough. But the problem is the flechettes won't burst back enough either. So it was a craziness. Now the actual flechette round is horrific. I'd like to use more of those in the stories there, but usually I stick with mentioning plasma, which, by the way, anybody mentions plasma, they're saying a flamethrower, unless it's plasma-induced something. Just keep that in mind. If you're completely lost on it, that's what they're talking about. If they say, especially a plasma thrower, it's a big deal. Because in all honesty, that's what it is. It's plasma that's superheated. I can roast them with that if you want. Roast, oh, yeah. Flechette to chunky salsa. No, flechette to porcupine. That's what you're going to look like. It's a whole bunch of needles about, I don't know. What's the word? Let's see. I'm trying to find out something. Well, they're about maybe 3 inches long. They're about maybe an 8-gauge needle size, maybe a little smaller. And they just perforate you, like all over. And if they don't perforate you, they're all sticking out of you. And you're just sitting there going like, oh, that's not good. Oh, shit. This is looking at your platoon sergeant going, this is bad, right? This is bad. I think this is bad. It's bad. But, yeah, flechettes rounds would do very good against zombies. And so would canister rounds. HE rounds don't do shit. Just to piss them off, really. But FYI, that's a creature I'm not going to work with because it's been done so many times. And I'm sorry, I cannot compete with Zombieland. And I'm sorry, I cannot do that. I was writing just one, that was meant to be funny. And I got maybe halfway through and Zombieland dropped. And I just was like, I'm done. They kicked my ass on that one. Because it was supposed to be a like redneck town, and you would think, oh, in a redneck town, they're gonna just shoot all the zombies. You know how many shots are fired through the whole thing? 0. And there's a running gag through the whole thing where this group of guys runs around the pickup truck with all these weapons, like, where are the zombies? We gotta shoot the zombies. We killed them all. Oh, you son of a bitch! And yeah, zombies can be done right. They've just been overdone. When they hit the zombie kick back about the early 2000s, it's just everything. And the only thing I could do is do basically documentary style between what an actual zombie is compared to an infected. But seriously, that would take me like a minute. And it's boring. Chandler load, double grape. They are advanced. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Ava was saying how to load grape shot. If you don't know what grape shot is, they're about golf ball size lead balls. There's about 12 of them, if I remember correctly. Napoleon loved them. And as soon as they exit, the casing that they're in rips apart, but it's still going forward. And it's like basically double-aught buckshot on steroids, wrapped in meth. You know, yeah, give us nothing makes us murder monkeys more inventive than wanting to kill somebody. It is what it is. What can I say? So, anyways, it's actually would be a fun one to do for this. I can find a way to get an old school canon in a sci-fi story or something like that. Let's see what the other story. Oh yes, the Eai Kai story. I wanted to let you know I'm working on that one. It's hard to do not to make the main character, not look like a total douchebag. Because let's face it, he's so respected for what he can do, and every king and queen is like, let's take a trip to go see this guy every 10 years so he can rejuvenate us so we can rule forever. I mean, and he's just going to look like an idiot because he's making the parents live so long. The kids are going to be like, well, when am I going to be king or queen? And they're just going to rip their countries apart, or they're going to want to kill this guy. I was like, okay, but he's got an army of basically monsterish people around. It's like, okay, that's a really good idea. So, it's kind of it'd be more of a goofy one than anything else. I'd like to make that other Eai Kai, but that'd take a long time to get that one set up. I'm having a little trouble getting the last part of the first act correct. And I'm not going to give you guys half-baked bullshit. I don't do that. I mean, sometimes I miss the mark. I'm human. We do that. But I won't do that willingly. Let's see. War is the mother of invention. Peace is the father of development. Yeah, I'll buy that for $1. Why not? I don't know where you heard that one before, but it sounds about right. I'll have to use that line, great shot on meth in story. By all means, use it, Fabian. That'd be fine. And if you have a good story, if you got a decent one, by all means, post it in the chat, with a link, and you're not going to get an argument from me. If you want me to read your story, you need to go into the comment section of any of my videos, especially recent ones. There is an email there. By all means, go into it. I just was in a rush to get this one set up, and I didn't actually put it in. Let's see. Well, sue me, Fabian, if Fabian wants to talk to me. Add some adrenaline to it. Okay. Adrenaline grape shot on meth with steroid. Yeah, that's a literal version of duck. I was going to make a Star Wars story, but I didn't want to get in trouble on that one because I don't know if they'd come at me for copyright. But basically get a bunch of our guys actually in the Star Wars universe. It's like, you don't know the power of the shut up, bang. Is that the end of it? Did I just speed run this? What's going on? Or better yet, walking in and saying, hey, guess what? I know who the bad guys are. I know who's going to be dating who. I know who's going to have whose children. And by the way, let's stop this war before we kill everybody else off because there's something a lot meaner coming down the pipe. Yeah, Star Wars kind of, they kind of, I hate to say it, but George Lucas kind of walked himself into a corner and he's never been able to get out. And nobody's been able to pull it out on that because it's all the laser blasters and stuff like that. And it's just, I'm just sitting there like, dude, when we actually check it, it's about the speed of a paintball. Anybody who's played paintball knows when somebody fires, you can actually dodge that. If they're at least 20 feet away, you can actually move fast enough to dodge that. So the whole Jedi reflexes might just be a natural, just stop, just blocking all that. So, yeah, but you don't stop flying brass and lead with a plasma induced laser. It's all it's going to do. If it's a really thin one, it's just going to slice in half and go in one in each eye. Oh, it's in my eyes. It's in my eyes. Yeah. And I'm sure some lady would be there like, yeah, now you know what it's like, right? Anyway, peak human reaction time is 0.05 microseconds. Yeah, I've heard that before. The thing is, a lot of times you have to really be like juiced up either high on caffeine or certain conditions have to be met. Some people just have a naturally extremely high reaction time. The problem is those folks tend to burn out those reactions very, very quickly. Any ideas for intragalactic invasion? Oh yeah, here's a fun one. For intragalactic, you're going to be talking about not just beyond the stars, but beyond our own galaxy / universe. That would, you know what? Listen to tonight's story and tell me if you're not getting ahead of me a little bit, Fabian. Think mid from 40K. You know what? I'd put in that, but I did one 40K story before, and it literally got its tail shot off, and it spiraled in and crashed and burned. It wasn't pretty. I'm not a huge fan, so I wasn't really helping the fans out much. I did a little bit of research, but I could not get all the little nuances that's required. Angry Marines? You mean Marines? Got it. Okay. No. I actually just saw one today when I was, or yesterday when I was going to pay my bills at Pass Recruiting Center. Although the first time I seen a probing Marine with face fuzz on. God help him when he walked in there. They're going to tear him up left and right. Oh, I've worked with Marines before, Ava. I got no problems with them. It's like working with Rangers. They got just this huge ego that will never shut off as long as they're wearing a uniform. And it's just, yeah. Just like Rangers, they're shock troopers, and they don't even fight that. They like the fact that they're shock troopers. They enjoy it. They get off on the adrenaline. It is what it is. Yeah, you're right, Fabian. 40K stories are just not easy. Search angry Marines with 40K. I think I seen that when I was looking for thumbnails to put up. I saw that. I put in angry soldiers or angry troops, and I got angry Marines. So I think you're talking the ones in yellow. It's always just kind of yelling and screaming. So, anyways, Discords. Now, I'm not really familiar with the Discord. If I remember correctly, that's where everybody jumps in. And I wouldn't have much of a problem with that at all. I'll put that on the docket. Hell, I'll even write it down. Right next to your alien basic combat training. Where the hell did I put my pen? Okay. I'm about to write Discord. Discord, you dumbass. Okay. All right. Well, we haven't got a lot of people in. I put everything out that I'm going to be putting out for this week. So, safety brief for everybody. When I do a little research and I find a day, I'll let you know. It's obviously not going to be during this point, but let me get my safety brief out, and I'll bid you folks adieu. Don't drink and drive. Don't drink and swim. If your little soldier's going in the bush, make sure he wears his poncho. And, if your buddy wants to drink and drive, by all means, kick their ass. Do not let them do it. And thank you, Fabian. This is going to be Syntax ejecting.